Here with NewsX, some breaking news coming in. In another shocking incident of corporal punishment, teachers of a government school have punished two students who had to be hospitalized. Later, the incident took place in a government school in Bhimili Mandal in Andhra Pradesh. After learning the students had failed to do their homework, the teacher stripped the students and forced them to stand under the scorching sun. The students collapsed after standing for around 3 hours. Let's get some more details from Dipti, who's on the phone line right now. Another case of corporal punishment coming to the fore, Dipti, even though it's banned in all government and public schools, but still rampant, I believe.
That's right. It's a very horrific and very disturbing images that we are seeing on the screen right now. Two children who were in 5th and 6th standard respectively were made to strip down and stand naked in the hot sun, and as well kneel down because they failed to do their homework. And after 3 hours of kneeling down continuously in that situation, in that condition, they fainted and they rushed to the hospital. The parents had took up the issue with the village elders, and gradually, and then the district educational officer had to intervene and suspend the. When we spoke to him earlier today, he said that they have suspended the teachers, but there is no official communication as yet as to what is the status of the suspension. But however, what we understand is that a departmental inquiry has been ordered into it, and to look into the entire situation and see that the teachers who are responsible for this horrific incident are suspended and taken to task.
Is it a prevalent practice there in government schools around, or is this just an isolated incident and should be treated as one? What are the authorities saying?
This, after a huge hue and cry over the last few years about the corporal punishment and the rising incidents that have been happening with children, there have been less number of cases that are reported, and even this particular case can be seen as an isolated case. But yes, the severity of and the intensity of the situation is very severe, because even though it is it's an isolated case, it has left a scar on the children's mind.
Right. Isadora Phillips, an activist, also with us. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. This is another shocker coming in from Andhra Pradesh. They've sent the students out for 3 hours in the scorching sun. Rules and norms being violated, would you say? We've lost Isadora there. Let's go back to Dipti. You were telling us, Dipti, the authorities, of course, are saying that these teachers have been suspended. Does this send across the kind of message there, at least in the school? You know, has there been any call for action against teachers apart from them being suspended in case police action?
There is no police complaint as such that has been filed, because the parents had initially taken it up with the village elders, and the district educational officer also responded immediately and said that they will set up an departmental inquiry. So the parents did not go to the police and file an official complaint. So on that part, there is no action so far. But from the department side, they are suspended is what we understand, but there is no official communication on that as well.
Stay with us. Isadora Phillips also with us, activist. Blatant violation of norms and rules, even though this is a village level school there, but corporal punishment is banned in India.
Yes. I think what I find also very horrible is, in terms of, one, we are talking about Section 17 of the Right to Education Act, where corporal punishment is openly. Two, the teacher saying that no parent asked me to punish. But I think teachers are custodians of children. Teachers cannot be saying parent asked me to beat them or my brother asked him to beat me. They have no business when it comes to dealing with children. The teacher is a final authority, and the teacher cannot wash his or her hands away saying somebody asked me to punish, so I did punishment.
Mr. Rao is also an activist right now on the phone line. Mr. Rao, would you say the implementation on the ground really of those norms is lacking? And also, because this is a village, even though the teacher said parents asked me to punish them, doesn't really count.
It is a very bad thing. The elders are giving some corporal punishment or mental punishment. It is not correct for the society. We have to create a atmosphere like child-friendly atmosphere, but that is not happening. Even in the schools, tuition centers, in everywhere, almost 95% schools or 95%, whatever it is, they are punishing the children physically. When we are punishing physically, we are not meant for the deal with the human beings. we have to deal with the animals. But that is not the case. The elders and the teachers or somebody who is giving some lectures whatsoever it is to the children, they are practicing the methods as if they are handling some animals. It is an animal inspector.
So is suspension for the teachers, Mr. Rao, then enough in this particular case? Should they be educated further, sensitized and so on?
See, even other day also one thing has happened. A father brought his child of his 11 years or 12 years, asked the police station to give some punishment as he is not studying well. That is the way. This is a very cruel nature, and equally in this particular thing also, the teacher
All right.
has...
Okay, Mr. Rao, stay with us. We also have Monica Mehrotra, Kalka Public School Principal on the phone line. This, of course, is not allowed, Monica, but it's a village-level school, and the teacher, of course, is hiding behind the fact that the parents asked him to punish their children. That doesn't really fly. More sensitization, really, and more education for teachers who teach, and even these village schools, I think is the way forward here.
Hello?
Yes, Ms. Monica Mehrotra.
Yeah, I think how long will the children bear the brunt of such kind of teachers who are not aware of the basic parameters laid down to run a school? I mean, when are we going to orientate them or tell them about these things? Or do we have to tell them in the first place itself? Teachers are not supposed to be, manhandling a child. They're supposed to be teaching them the good habits. And on the other hand, even if the child has done anything wrong, I think there are ways and means to, tell the child about it.
Right, absolutely. Sandhya Bajaj also with us. Would you say that this, of course, is lack of education that we are seeing right now, or old mindsets at work? How would you describe this, really?
Yeah, this is very unfortunate. There are so many guidelines about corporal punishment. They can't give punishment to the child only for he has not worked, he has not taken his homework. This is not the way. Many other ways are there, as teacher can cut their number. If the child is not performing well, she can do anything more, but no corporal punishment. It's a crime nowadays.
Absolutely, it's a crime, and they've been suspended for this, the teachers, that is, and we understand now that perhaps there'll be no police action against them because there is, after all, a case related to children in a school and a teacher who was supposed to be teaching them. But this is a case coming in from Andhra Pradesh there, a vicious case really of corporal punishment meted out to kids in school, in a village school there. They've collapsed after being made to stand in the sun for 3 long hours, and because of dehydration, I would presume, they did collapse. And this is brutality really against these people, against these children who are all minors. Let's go across to Ritanshu for more on this. Ritanshu, these are clearly norms being violated. This is against the law. You cannot mete out corporal punishment to minor children, to anyone really in schools, and this perhaps needs to be investigated further, although these cops have been suspended. I beg your pardon, these teachers have been suspended.
Now, Athar, I mean, we have often been lamenting about corporal punishments, various cases which we see coming from various parts of the country, but those are generally physical in nature. Those scars and wounds, while nobody undermines the pain which kids, innocent children get from those horrendous deeds, the fact still remains that over time they heal. But this is what we are looking at, is a psychological and emotional scarring of the children forever here, because although it's not evident in those pictures here, but their classmates might have been around, there might have been other people around as well. They have been stripped of the dignity in public. Now that's the emotional scarring a child at a very impressionable age of 5 to 6 years of age goes through for very little fault of his. Now it remains, that leaves a lasting impression on those children throughout the childhood. So this is something that essentially scarring them for life. And many can argue that there's no amount of punishment which can really condone for such a heinous act.
Absolutely. Also with us, Dipti right now. Dipti, Ritanshu was talking about the mental scarring really and the emotional effect of it. These are impressionable years after all. And we all remember being punished in school, but nothing as drastic, at least in some cases. We seem to have lost Dipti there. Ritanshu is still with us right now. And Ritanshu was telling us about how this was done in front of their classmates. And Ritanshu, you talked about, first of all, social shame. These are impressionable young children. Peer pressure, of course, is also paramount. And this, of course, would lead to really, really bad memories. And that, of course, is inexcusable.
Yes, indeed, it is very, very shocking, Athar. And now, while these teachers have been suspended, what is a bigger concern is the fact that these are cases which keep occurring throughout the country. Only a few of them are caught on camera or on videotape, which is why they get highlighted. But the bigger mentality is there's very little sensitivity amongst teachers, especially in rural areas, as to how to deal with children here. We still follow a very outdated mindset in which the teacher gets the full leeway of using the maximum of spare the rod and spoil the child to the hilt here, without actually realizing here that the children on to whom they behave so brutally at this age might turn out to be sociopaths in the future, because they've never known kindness, they've never known compassion, and they are likely, it's not necessary, but it's possible that they only go and manifest this cruelty later on when they become juveniles, when they become adults.
Absolutely. This, of course, can stay for a while in your memory. Dipti also joins us now from Hyderabad. Dipti, this, of course, is a case of extreme corporal punishment. These were young children in front of their classmates, and all their friends were asked to stand out in the sun for 3 hours. The teachers have been suspended. But what we're talking about now, of course, is the lasting mental effects, the emotional trauma that these two young children had to go through. That is not going to go away just by suspending those teachers. They have to be rehabilitated now.
That's right, Athar. This is not just one, like I've said earlier, it might be an isolated incident which might not happen very frequently in this state right now, but yes, this is a very scarring incident which will remain on this child's mind throughout his growing years. They are in their formative years right now, and like one of our activists, Isidro Phillips, pointed out, there is Right to Education Act in our country, but no one actually bothers to see as to actually impart that education to these children. But yes, if they have failed to do their homework, this is what they get. Instead, there should be a training session for all the school teachers as well. And also, I was speaking to one of the activists earlier, child right activists, who mentioned that, you know, when it is a government school where this incident has happened. And also what we see is that there is a government examination which happens for the entrance of these teachers. So while the entrance at the level of the entrance examination level itself, there should be an assessment as to how can the teachers be psychologically strong, and how is their psychological mental setup to see if they can handle these children. And it is a very stressful job, we all agree, but yes, there needs to be a guideline.
All right, Dipti, we'll have to leave it there, but many thanks for getting us details on that story. Many thanks, Ritanshu, also for joining us.